Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Y'all let me know how this audio sounds. You know what I'm talking about. Audio checks.
Okay, let's try that. There you go. Let's try that again. There you go.
To this day.
There you go.
To this day.
All right. How's that audio sound, y'all? Talk black to me. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Melanin Mondays. This is episode 189 featuring your good brother, Red Pillar. You are Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are back from our spring break. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I had to take a spring break. I was gone for about 2 weeks. Hopefully, you niggas stop talking about Chris Rock and Will Smith at this point. Like, you know, sometimes you gotta just take a little break. You know what I mean? There's times where you gotta restructure things and work on some other things. So, you know, I'm here. Glad to be back. Peace to everybody in the building. Let's do the roll call and then we'll get to the show tonight. All right. And before we do the roll call, real quick, for anybody that's wanting to know, Blue Pill will be doing the Law of 44, the War Report, April the 16th. That is a Saturday. April the 16th. Blue Pillar is going to be presenting the Law of 44, the War Report. You don't want to miss that one right there. I think we're going to have the brother on the show. If not tomorrow, we'll have him on Third Eye Thursday, and he'll be giving us a preview of what we have to expect from the Law of 44, the War Report. But go and get your tickets at ktluniversity.com. The link is in the bio or the description for that matter. All right. So, shout out to Kingston, Jamaica, up in his Bomoka.
To this day.
Kingston
To
up
this
in
day.
his 505, New Mexico. Texas is in the building. Shout out to Texas. All right. We got San Francisco in the building. What is this? Borican. Okay, Sabes. Yes.
To this day.
Okay, I see.
To this day.
You be traveling through mad portals, Corinne. I see you. All right. Savannah's in the building. Shout out to Savannah. Colorado's in the building. Northwest Georgia. Philly is in the building. Toronto's in the building. PG County in the building. Silver Springs. I have good memories from PG County going all the way back to the 90s. Brooklyn is up in this thing. Shout out to Brooklyn. All right. Spartanburg. Shout out to Spartanburg. That's a stop on a China bus. We be going to Atlanta. I think Spartanburg, South Carolina. That's our last stop right there. You know what I'm talking about? Yankee Stadium, the BX. Shout out to the BX. I was binging this weekend on Bronx drill videos, man. Whew. Them young boys out there, they on something else. Valdosta, Georgia. I know what that is, Valdosta. Shout out to Valdosta. Boston is up in this thing. Salute to Boston. Bodymore, B-More's in this thing. Tucson, shout out to Tucson. Peace to Tucson. Peace to Boston. Shout out to Boston. My good brother Dooley is gonna pull up tonight, man. I was just telling the Wiz, like, Boston has always showed me and Blue Pill love from way back in the days. You know what I'm saying? I have good memories from all of my encounters doing either as a vendor or a presenter out there in Boston. The love was always divine and whatnot. So shout out to everybody out there. Delaware was good with you, Delaware. Shout out to Delaware. All right. Goldsboro was popping. Goldsboro was really good. All right. Cleveland in the building. Tallahassee in the building. Skikawakwa. Chicago in the building. I'm not going to pronounce that right. My bad. Delaware's in the building. All right. Santa Rosa, California. Okay. Powerborn, Pittsburgh. Peace, Brooklyn. It ain't a party if Brooklyn ain't there. Jamaica was popping. Wagwan, Southwest Palm Beach. Yeah, we flocking. It was really good. What flag is that? Southside Jamaica, Queens. Okay, I see you. We had this dope conversation. I just came from a podcast called Drink Champs. Shout out to the Drink Champs. I mean, not the Drink Champs. My bad. The Think Champs. The Think Champs, like thinking. Legendary shit. Shout out to Think Champs. We just had a dope conversation in the build and whatnot. And in that build, I was talking about Kings County. And I was identifying the geographical location for the real Kings County, not the made up Kings County, but the Kings County that existed before there were 5 boroughs in New York, right? So Kings County consisted of Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island, and altogether it was considered to be Kings County in New Amsterdam, right? So prior to the names of these corporations and whatnot, prior to these corporations or these boroughs being created, the land was called Kings County, and it had Queens, Brooklyn, and Long Island combined, right? And it's royal land that produces royal people. So I was doing a roll call of all of the great hip hop artists, right, that hail from Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island, respectively. And then I started talking about the athletes. Michael Jordan is born in Brooklyn. Mike Tyson. I could continue, but I won't. Then I was talking about the athletes and whatnot. So I was just pointing out that when we combined, when you don't utilize breaking us up, the fragmentation of us, breaking us down into little clans or little blocks and whatnot, but you combine us and you see the richness of us as a collective, you begin to appreciate it more. So shout out to all of the family in Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island, the whole New York, of course, but definitely shout out to Kings County. That's more history that we're going to be digging into as we move forward. Okay, Statesville. I haven't caught on to the new season of Atlanta. I'm hearing a little bit of buzz and whatnot. Did I cancel Hulu? I think it's on Hulu. I don't know if I dropped that because I had mass subscriptions that I had to just lighten up on. But I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. Peace, love, and light, Atlanta. Yeah, I heard in the last episode they was dropping some information about reparations and ting. So yeah, definitely I'll tap into it and see what's going on. But how's everybody been? It's been a few weeks since we've been live and whatnot. We was off grid, and now we back. So I'm just tapping in before I even begin. I just want to know, you know what I mean? How's the family? You know what I'm saying? How's everybody doing in the building and whatnot? Tapping in. What happened to the New York Indian population? They were reclassified as Negro, blacks, and coloreds and things of that nature. And some of the richest land, or some of the most beautiful land in the New York states was the Hamptons, right? If anybody's ever been to the Hamptons, you know what I'm talking about in terms of the beauty that it holds out there and whatnot. And that was indigenous land. That's home of the Shinnecock and other indigenous tribes and whatnot. And they were removed. And now you see what's going on over there. All right, so here's okay, fasting for Ramadan. I am also fasting for Ramadan. Man, let me talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? I want to keep certain things sacred. You feel me? And fasting, just my whole experience, it's not over. You know what I mean? So when I get through Ramadan, then I'll be more at free will to speak about the challenges, what the transformation that it behold, the discipline, all of the things behind it and whatnot. But this one is serious. This one right here, because of the times and whatnot, this is intense. Renamed, disenfranchised, right? Yeah, that's what they did to those Indians. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, man. Yeah, we got we got a few announcements. Me and Blue, we've been cooking up some things behind the scenes and whatnot. I ain't gonna put too many plates out there and whatnot. I'm gonna focus on what we do have this in front of us. And one of the things that we have in front of us, we have a new class coming up with my good brother Al Kibalon 44, the illustrious illumination. That's gonna be powerful. That will be at the end of April. We have Blue Pillar 44 with the Law of 44, the War Report. That's gonna be in 6 days, I believe, the 16th, 5 days. Yeah, it's coming up. So yeah, we're gonna build on that. You know what I mean? We're gonna definitely build on that. We got some good news, some things that we're gonna be rolling out. So we'll be on this channel this whole week. We'll be doing Third Eye Thursdays, inshallah. We'll be doing a show on Tuesday where we bring our good brother Dooley, who is doing a lot of work with helping people with their inner work, right? Inner work, inner healing, shadow work, transformation, going within. Something that is very prevalent in my humble opinion, especially in the year of 2022. Everywhere I turn, everywhere I go, every channel that I turn on, and the majority of the teachers that I'm tapped into, they have a similar message. They are saying some of the same things, and what they're saying is, in a day and age where they got the people or the majority of the population envisioning Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos going to the moon and going to Mars and leaving the planet, there's an other form of travel that's being recommended that's beyond and above that. And that's the travel within. You know what I mean? That's the interstellar travel. That's the traveling that you go within. When you go into the infinite darkness. The infinite darkness. Shit. You could go on a DMT trip and it should have feel like you've gone. It could feel more, groundbreaking and breathtaking than if you really did get in one of those space shuttles and went up and, into the firmament and all of that crazy shit. So that's important. So we'll be bringing a brother through. I'm going to have him briefly pull up tonight and we'll introduce you to the good brother and the other light workers. He has an event that's coming up, so we'll talk about that and whatnot. And we'll just we'll roll some information out. It's been a minute, so I don't want to just get right back on and start going crazy and whatnot. We're gonna pace ourselves and just start rolling things out and giving y'all some of the gifts that we have been building up and collecting and whatnot. The gifts come in the form of this information. The gifts come in the form of these teachers. The gifts come in the form of these quote unquote experiences that are able to be shared with the fam. You know what I mean? With the platform So, y'all could be able to benefit from what's going on out here. Shadow work is a must. Hell yeah. That's a facts. Yes, facts. Peace, Mr. Phil. Missed you on YouTube, but glad you steered clear of the Oscar drama. My genius. My genius. Yeah, I'm glad I stayed clear of that conversation because, man, they overdid that shit right there. That was, man, like, you would think somebody died or something. You would think a great person lost their life and whatnot. The slap heard around the world. That's been a consistent conversation, and they still not talk. They still not done squeezing the life out of that one right there. Every other day is something new. So, it is what it is. I hope that y'all got your great interpretation. You could leave it in the chat, right? What video or what information did you come across that helped you decode the Will Smith and Chris Rock quote unquote fiasco, right? Like who came through and did the best decoding breakdown of the slap heard around the world? There got to be better things to talk about. There has to be some better things to talk about. So, we're here. What I'm talking about? We're starting out fresh. This is a beautiful season that we're in. We're still in Aries season. Shout out to all of the Aries. I got big love for Aries and whatnot. They are some very interesting people. And from the looks of things on my social media, there's more Aries out there than I even realized. I'm just really starting to notice them. So shout out to the Aries in the building. YouTube didn't turn on the notification. Oh yeah, sometimes. Well, you know what that is about. You know what I mean? You know how YouTube be doing this channel. But what you can do while you're on the channel is hit the subscribe button. Make sure that the videos show up in your feed. So if you don't get the notifications whenever you click on YouTube, it'll show up in the quote unquote recommend or the feed and whatnot. You'll be able to see the updated videos that we'll be doing. Aries Nation. Okay. I see you. My son, my 2-year-old, my son turned 2 on the 2nd. Yeah, I wasn't on YouTube around that time. So my son Omari, right? He came in 2020, right? I've talked about him on numerous occasions on the show. I just, I would love to bring him on the show and show him off and everything, but at some point in life, practicing privacy and being able to keep your children's likeness and their images off of the internet is definitely something that you grow to appreciate. You know what I mean? My thing is, if I don't own these pictures, like if I upload a picture and they own that shit, Meta or Facebook or these social media platforms that sell our content to third parties and whatnot, they became trillionaires off of our data. I'm good. There's an algorithm that you should be tapping into if you utilize anybody in your close family's likeness. You should be able to monetize that picture, or those images and whatnot, because it's being monetized regardless. When am I going to? Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull up on Tahoe. Oh, it's your son's birthday today? Okay, he's an Aries. Who them Aries, boy. Lord have mercy. My little man came in the door kicking, waving the 4-4. He's a COVID baby. He came April 2nd, 2020, and COVID made its appearance in March of 2020. So when he came through, it was fresh. You know what I mean? I can remember the time. I can remember the panic that was thick in the air. You could cut it with a butter knife. I could feel it. I could remember the tension. Do you remember at the heights of the quote unquote pandemic, they were telling fathers that you couldn't be in the birthing room in places like New York? That was a travesty. Imagine being a father who has to be the rock, has to be the support system, has to be the strength, you know, and also the protector to make sure the wife, the baby, and everything in between is being protected and safe and not taken advantage of inside of the delivery room. Imagine if they tell you, nah, fam, you can't come in here because of restrictions. They was getting away with that shit. I don't know who the fuck was allowing them to get away with that, but apparently they was in New York and other places getting away with it. So, I was like, I'm not having that. You know what I'm talking about? We wasn't having none of that. Our experience was very decent considering it was April 2nd of 2020 and the panic mode, they had switched the fear index. It was almost to bright red. Shit was up. Yeah, I don't remember, what I mean? People got selective memories. I don't think y'all remember how up and stuck this shit was in April of 2020. Mine like you was scared to go out the house. Niggas became hermits.
To this day. To this day.
Said your son walked into the universe literally. I believe you, bro. I believe you, sis. These little ones is coming through. That's what I be telling people when I paint the picture of my son Omari. I'm like, he basically walked through the portal or some Thanos shit. Like he walked through this thing. You know what I mean? He was upright from the beginning. His head was on swivel from the beginning, bro. He was at attention from the minute he opened his eyes. He was on alert. He like his attitude is you not gonna catch him lacking. These little ones is different. If you have relatives or loved ones that gave birth to these COVID babies and you got the information and whatnot, yeah, pay attention and intervene and tap in when you see, the opportunity to. Remember, theoretically speaking, they're war survivors. They were born in war. Children that are born in war is different. Their demeanor, their DNA, they're born in times of war. Let's do some, look at the children of Vietnam. Look at the children in Russia who grew up after the Cold War and whatnot. Look at the children post-World War II. Right? Look at the children in Afghanistan and Iraq. You know what I'm saying? So these children was born in the middle of a war. This was literally a war that President Trump was saying that there was an invisible enemy. Tonight, when we were on Think Champs, we touched on, me and Blue Pill, we touched on the origins of the war that we are currently finding ourselves in, that they'll probably write about 10 years from now and be like the beginning of World War III started with the trade embargo that President Trump levied upon China, right? At first, it was a trade war. The majority of wars that go down in history have their roots in trading routes and things dealing with commerce. So when you look at the provocation that was taking place, I remember clearly because all of my overseas, a lot of my business overseas is in mercantile. So I was being affected by imports because of the quote unquote tariffs and the extra taxes and whatnot that they were levying on China. President Trump's administration they had a trade war, which was a currency, a financial war and a war about the trade routes and whatnot. This was before the pandemic. And it was directly with China. And it was on the quote unquote recommendation of Stephen Bannon, right? Who's a war hawk for the Trump, for the white nationalists and whatnot, right? People in the Ukraine and shit like that, shit like that. So Steve Bannon was behind this quote unquote soft war. It was a soft war that eventually mutated into what is known or what is seen or what has been reported as a bio weapon, right? Or bio warfare, with the quote unquote introduction of what they called the Wuhan virus at first. Remember, the President Trump was calling it the China flu or the China virus before they basically codified it and called it what they call it now. Prior to that, it had all of its ties that there was a war going on outside, an invisible enemy that was attacking multiple countries, right? And it was something that was declared a state of emergency globally. And it was birthed, right? Or it was launched, or it was quote unquote, initiated in a geographical location of a country that was embroiled in a trade war with America called China, right? I'm just saying, these are just some of the coincidences that have been taking place. These are some of the coincidences. And as a result of it, the trade war escalated to higher levels, to the place where the ports and things of that nature and the import-export business took a humongous hit and was basically grinded to a halt. And then great reset subsequently began to happen and take place. And the rich got richer, the poor got poorer, and things have been shifting and changing ever since. But there's a war going on still to this day. It hasn't stopped. And on paper, I didn't say it. The government said it. They're identifying it not as a pandemic, as a war. So these children that are coming through have been birthed in the midst of a war. And this is a war that you don't have to speculate about. This is not a speculation. This is a world war involving a virus. But let's see what it's going to mutate into and what it's going to quote unquote. Oh, now it's a physical conflict. My bad. Okay. There's a physical conflict now with the possibilities of any slight provocation that China throws its hat in the ring, because one of its strongest allies, one of its, how the drill scene, you have 600, then you got the OTF or the Get Back crew, right? They're affiliates. So there's a war going on with an affiliate of China, and that's Russia. So if anything were to happen, any slight provocation, the possibility of China entering into the chat is very strong. So now we have physical war with the threat of becoming bigger and more expansive. It already is being called the crypto war. It's already being called one of the first wars of modern social media. It has a lot of titles already, right? And it's just the beginning. And it was launched ceremoniously on February the 23rd, which reads out to 323. No, 223, which is 322 flipped around. But the day after 222, right? February the 22nd, that everybody was all excited about. The day after it, on the 23rd, right? Because keep in mind, 222 was Pluto return. But what did that represent? That represented the closing of an era. Right? That was the book ending of an era, right? Because they was like, yo, the last time this happened, right? Hold on. President Biden ordered 100K electronic vehicle charging stations by 2035. No more gas vehicles for the government. Invest people. Yeah, man. Look, we had let me before I forget, let me put this up here, man. This right here, bro. Come on. This class right here. This shit right here. The power of precious metals, first and foremost, before I even continue, I gotta say, my goodness, thank you to everybody that pulled up for this workshop. We was over 100 people deep. It was more than 100 of us. We gave out the grand prize of the $7,000 watch live in the class. There was a winner, a sister, who was able to get the $7,500 grand prize for the 100th ticket holder. And this class right here was powerful. When I say powerful, powerful. If you in a chat room and you was in this workshop, let me get a fire emoji. You know what I'm talking about? Like, let the family know how powerful this workshop was. I mean, and so much information has come out ever since that workshop. I had to let this shit breathe for about 2 weeks or whatnot and get some things together with this membership site with KTL University, the book club, the weekly classes. I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So I'm building up this KTL University to be this destination of online learning and whatnot, online edification. And even in real world, it's not just an online thing. Like, we're talking real brick and mortar. We're talking real world events, eye to eye type shit, like, getaways, going places, doing things, and, just tapping into experience, because this shit is about experience. When it's all said and done and you think back on it, you're going to remember the experiences more so. You're going to remember the experience. It's the experiences that get quote unquote stuck in your brain, in your mind, in your subconscious. That's the shit that you could draw back on 10 years from now, 5 years from now. You could see something and it just sparks a memory and whatnot. It puts you back online and whatnot. It taps you back into that feeling, that emotion of enthusiasm, or that emotion of doing something new, or being in a place around new people, having new experiences and whatnot. That's the shit that stays with you. That's the things that you could dial back on and summon and pull back up and whatnot. So over here at Know the Ledge and in the Netaverse, we are all about creating experiences that will forever stay with you. Right? Right? So for everybody that was in the class, I appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? Salute to every single one of y'all. You have the information that you need to make some things happen. You know what I'm talking about? And we will be following up with our good brother Steven. He's going to also have a bi-weekly class that we'll be doing on KTL University. So look out for that. We're going to be doing the big announcement coming very, very soon and whatnot. So shout out to my good brother in Cairo, in Brazil, over there in Brazil, doing this thing, making it happen. You know what I mean? He left the audience, the students that pulled up, with a lot of information, a lot of homework, and a lot of things to take them to this next level by stacking these precious metals. Because as you can see, that is becoming a very viable currency in the Great Reset. So we have to pay attention, and we also have to realize time is of the essence, right? We can't sit around and let things pass us and let things develop and whatnot and take and level and go to next and go to the next level and to the next level to where it becomes unattainable. We're here right now with the information, it's almost like insider trading and whatnot. But we're here to give you some early information so you could be early to the party. You know what I mean? Thank me later. Thank me later, okay? So, and for anybody that did not get to be in the workshop, no worries, rejoice. You know what I mean? Help is here. We have the replay available on KTLUniversity.com. That is right there that you see, www.ktl, as in know the ledge, KTLUniversity.com. When you go on the page, you'll see the flyer and you'll be able to access it right there. The same way that you could press on Hulu or Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Stars and whatnot. It's the same mentality. It's the same way. You know what I mean? It's the same streaming technology. Press play and it will stream and you'll be able to see what you need to see. So give thanks. All right. What are my thoughts on Mars? That's one of my ruling planets. Very powerful, energy. Mars, very essential. But do I want to live there? If that's the question, I'm not sure. But Mission to Mars is a great movie to check out with Don Cheadle. Yeah, man. But yeah, for the most part, for the family that's out there in the audience, if there's some things to be talked about, like if there's some stories that are going on, you could bring it up in the chat room and we could build on it. You feel me? Can you get a Virgo show? Yes, you could get a Virgo show. We're gonna have a Scorpio show. We're gonna have an Aries show. We're gonna have a few shows dealing with the power of the zodiac, and we'll do it one at a time. Well, I definitely want my audience. I want my student body. I want the listeners and the watchers of Know the Ledge University, Know the Ledge Radio, and everything to be educated on all of these sacred sciences. Because, like I said earlier, we're in a day and time where these sciences are changing people's lives for the better. We got receipts and proof everywhere that you turn around. You can see people's lives changing for the better. There's so many distractions and whatnot, and there's so much blood on the dance floor, and there's so much roadkill, you know what I'm talking about? And there's so much carnage and whatnot that we sometimes are swayed and we focusing on that. You know what I mean? Things that vultures should be focusing on. We're focusing on carcasses. We're focusing on the Walking Dead and whatnot. We're focusing on zombies and shit. We're focusing on people who are dead. And we are attributing what we see to our experience. And that's not really being honest with yourself. That's not truthful. And to be honest with you, you are deceiving yourself in your perception of what the fuck is going on around you. What you should be paying attention to is people around you who are waking the fuck up, and people around you who are leveling up, and people around you that are doing the motherfucking work. Because if you don't do the work, you don't have the results. It's like a nigga that don't go to the gym who be trying to walk around acting like he brolic and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? And he's 93 pounds dripping wet. You know what I mean? You got to put in the work. And when you put in the work, you'll see the results. So in this realm that we're talking about, the work is the inner work, but it's also the outer work. You know what I mean? Because the inner work is going to lead you to the outer work as well. It's going to motivate you. It's going to help you find your purpose and whatnot. It's going to have you find that which you can do, or that which you will be do, or that's what that which you were sent here to do. And to do that shit like you doing it for TV, to do it with a smile on your face because this is your destiny. You know, the book club is coming. The book club is almost finalized. That's also going to be a part of the announcement of the rollout that we have with KTL University. Look out for that. But the book club is being finalized. I am also offering a slot to anyone that is out there, a melanated author, right? This part of our network. I'm gonna send my email right here, right here. That's my email. I'm opening up a slot for one of the authors that is out there. If that's you that I'm speaking of, hit up the email and give me a description of your literature, of your book. And, if you want to send a copy of the book, a link for it and whatnot, something that I could read a synopsis, please do that. You know what I mean? This book club that we're going to be launching at KTL University is also going to be it's going to be very interesting, very, very interactive, and you are definitely going to enjoy the selections that we're going to be selecting, and it's going to help you, in your education, your online education. You know what I'm talking about? Because these books are very important. These books are, they be opening up doors, man. There's books that I've read that I go back and open back up and look into it, and I'm able to measure myself just based off of that. I'm like, yo, I understand this shit a whole lot better now. You know what I mean? It's almost like the book is reading me now. You know what I mean? And when I first got into the book, when I encountered the book, when I took that walk and I walked into that world that the book is encasing, I was a little bit unfamiliar with the subject matter. However, upon review, I could tell that there's a level of mastery that has taken place because I'm able to master the book now. I'm like, yo, this is an easy read. I've actually lived through this as a result of reading it the first time. It was almost like a programming, and certain things, whether it was in my dream state, in the astral realm, or in my waking state and whatnot, I was getting certifications and I was getting, verifications of real shit in real time. And these books have a lot to do with it. Celestine Prophecy, Four Agreements, Ra Unefa's the Medu Nectar 1, 2, and 3. Shoot, Black Dot's book. Hip Hop Decoded, bro. Come on, man. Do you know what happened with hip hop after he put that book out? Like, there's a power in the pen. There's a power in these authors that we have amongst us. Francis Cress Wilson with the ISIS papers. Do you know how many scenarios in both the news, popular culture, people's personal lives? Do you know how many things come to life to verify the information that you come into contact when you read some of these books? All is mental, right? Mentalism. So, what do you think reading a book is doing?
To this day.
You know what I'm talking about?
To this day.
What do you think reading a book is helping to do? So, we're going to have a bomb-ass book list. We're going to have a dope-ass book club. You know what I mean? This is going to be something that it's been a long time coming, so I'm excited about it. Do I look excited? What's you or your chat's opinion on Montessori education? I have a 2-year-old son. Interesting. Beyond the Poles, Celestine Prophecy, ISIS Papers. Yeah, those are like our beginner books that a lot of us are familiar with. The Secret Science, yes. A lot of us are familiar with it. That's why I mentioned it, because I know that we could relate to it. Damn near every other house that I went to where people were considered to be conscious, there's a litany of books that you see. It's almost like, well, Queen of Fool's book is usually there. Destruction of Black Civilizations, the Medu Netter, ISIS Papers, Eat and Grow How to Eat and Live, the autobiography of Malcolm X. Audiobook When Will Jesus Bring the Pork Chops by George Carlin. That was one of my favorite comedians. No cap. Give me a minute, y'all. Yes, Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. That was in Mad Households. That's Amos Wilson, right? Thoughts on quantum infused pendants. Oh, I would love to see one of those. I may not be familiar with that. I would love to see a quantum infused pendant. Sounds like something I would wear. The Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. That's in Mad Households. And that needs to be in more households if it's not already. I remember reading the philosophy. We could do a whole book club on the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. That would be a book that I wouldn't, I would be willing to give a whole month and dive into that. You know what I mean? Have some a whole reading party and everything. Like that book of that's a book of poetry. That book really opened up my mind when I first was getting into this information. I was blown away by the information that Marcus Garvey was delivering in the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. He was a legend for that. The Mysteries of Mount Shasta. I'm gonna look into that. Okay. Flower of Sunlight by Drunvalo Melchizedek. Okay. The Browder Files. Definitely must read. The Alchemist of Kush. Minister Foss. I like that. Black Athena and Mad Households. Ancient Future, Wayne Chandler, and Mad Households. If you don't have Ancient Future, you need that in your life. That's another book that we're gonna add that to the book club because I would love to review the Ancient Future, especially for some of us who have read it about a decade ago. It's time to go back over that book and review it and measure our growth and development by what stands out to us this time around when we do a peer review and whatnot, and we return to that book. The Judas Factor, yes, that's a must read. The Committee of 300 by John Coleman. I remember reading that and getting spooked, right? That was a must read. Who Betrayed the African War Revolution by Dr. John Henry Clark. Yes, that's a must read. The Kabbalion, a must read. Yes, The Nature of Nature books 1, 2, and 3. That's a must read as well. Look how many books is a must read. So we have a lot of reading to do, right? How you been feeling about music, Red? Keep it 1,000 with you. I haven't been motivated to make music recently. Like in February, I was super lit about the music, but I've just been calm about it. I heard some powerful music this week with Lizzie Jeff. Shout out to Lizzie Jeff. You know what I mean? The legend.
To this day.
She just had Zen and Kush Atlanta last night. It was a schmovie. You know what I mean? I heard some new music by Lizzie that I feel like she'll be able to get a Grammy for it. Real talk. Like she gets me excited with the music she's making. Cambada, I heard some new Cambada. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I'm listening to jazz and some other things. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be more diversified in what the frequencies that I'm allowing, especially during Ramadan. You know what I mean? Like jazz, or some higher vibrational music. The new 5 year album, I'm not gonna call it a frisbee and whatnot. He did what he needed to do. I feel that the Kanye executive producer fingerprint wasn't all over it for me. It's like, after Pop did what he did, it's real hard to just give any artist coming out of Brooklyn or New York, for that matter, you know what I mean? It's a different energy. You know what I'm talking about? It's a whole different energy. And I don't remember no song that he really snapped on his album. Like, I'm talking about going crazy like he did on Kanye shit. Like, I can't really pull up a song that he blanked out on. I think the Rowdy Rebel shit gonna be harder than his. Yeah, I'm on my jazz shit. I'm on my grown man shit. You know what I'm talking about? But I'll listen to some ratchet. Like I said earlier, I was listening to K Flock, B Love, and the other dude, this weekend. I had to do my homework about the Bronx drill because I got something that I'm cooking up and whatnot. So I'm doing my research. I'm tapping in, and it is what it is. But yeah, Rowdy is snapping. What's my opinion on the white reggae singers out of Virginia winning the best reggae album of the year? You know what? I saw some actual Jamaican artists capping for them, like, saying that they was official and whatnot. I'm not familiar with the music. You feel me? The shit ain't dance hall. I'm not really familiar with their sound. I don't know I didn't hear the album. More than likely, I'm not sure if I will hear the album unless somebody traps me in some type of bohemian restaurant and they start playing it and whatnot. If I go somewhere plant based and I'm based and whatnot, I might be baked and whatnot, and they put that on the Bluetooth. Who knows? That's how they got me with Snow Allegra. You know what I mean? I was baked and I started listening to it and I'm like, I like this. So who knows? I'm not at the place in 2022 where I'm jacking, the musical soundscape and saying who can make what and all of this stupid shit. Like, I just don't live in that pocket right now. I'm very versatile when it comes to my audio palette. You know what I mean? My audio palette. But I'm not saying all of that to say that this group is going to be something that I want to taste on my palate. You know what I mean? I don't know their music, so I really can't call it. But kudos to them, you know what I mean? But the Mondem from Kingston and whatnot, yeah, they should always win the award every year. Where's Patra at? You know what I mean? Them people need they need their hardware and whatnot. You feel me? So whatever, but we already know what they did with reggae music and the vibe ever since they moved on Bob Marley. Ever since they moved on Robert Nesta and whatnot, they've been diminishing the power of the reggae artist who was a fire blazer, and he was sparking revolutions with his music. So I'm only jacking those type of artists. I can't speak for nobody else. I'm there for the roots and the culture, and the Mondem who's able to wake up the warrior and the mystic, the natural mystic, and the people and whatnot. Somebody who's half griot / obia man / reverend / musician. Those those type of Jamaicans or Mandim from the islands of either St. Croix, Barbados, Trinidad, the ones that have that Scarvy like spirit. I would love to hear that translated. That's why I was into Cableton a lot when I was young. Luciano, you know what I'm talking about? The ones who were the fire starters. Somebody said cruise ship reggae. Yeah, is that elevator reggae, my genius? We need a Kendrick album. Yeah, we damn sure need a Kendrick. The time is right. Jamal, what's good, my guy? The legend. Yeah, go make sure y'all go and stream. I seen my guy on iTunes on the front page in 10. You know what I mean? I seen Jamal streaming. He's charting. My God body is charting. Make sure y'all go and support the God with his new project. Pull his name up in the streaming platforms, Jamal Milton. Add him to your playlist. You know what I'm saying? The authentic genres need to have their own award show. That's right. That's right. My whole thing is this. Stop trying to squeeze the sauce into a goddamn, we trying to squeeze the sauce into a milk carton. That's not how it works. You're interjecting your genius, your styles, your genres, your niches, your sounds, your superstars, your megastars, and we keep trying to juxtapose them with their idea of what the fuck they want a megastar to be, or what they want a victorious victor or a legend and whatnot to be. We know, we are not the same. We are not the same. You know what I mean? There's levels to this shit. So music can exist in all different corners and whatnot, and all. I mean, there's so many different forms of music. How the hell can you how could you allocate one award show to define all of these diverse niches? So we need an updated version of the Source Awards, this of higher prestige, of higher quality, of greater production. You know what I'm talking about? And of a cleaner intention than what the fuck they was doing at the Source Awards back in the days and whatnot. We need an improvement upon that, but we need our own shit. We need to celebrate each other like we naturally do. I feel awkward being celebrated in rooms of people that I know don't naturally celebrate me anyway. Like, I'm good on that. If they fuck with us, they pull up. You know what I'm talking about? If they fuck with us, they'll pull up. But I'm not trying to, I'm not validating none of these award shows, because at the end of the day, they don't speak for us. And fucking award, that's how they control people anyway. With awards are like carrots and whatnot. They dangle them shits over your head. Name 10 artists or actors that got awarded down and was able to keep their hunger and was able to elevate as these quote unquote artists. The awards are almost like, that shit slows you down. It defangs certain people and whatnot. It domesticates a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, it takes away more than it adds sometimes. So I'm not even jacking that. Like, the people and the ones that you look up to as an artist, I would say that the legends that are in, because the Academy of the Arts and Sciences and whatnot is comprised of veteran actors and people in theater and things of that nature. So that would be considered the OGs or the big homies and whatnot. So yeah, people feel honored to be recognized by them. However, we know that our elders are different, and they see something different, and they're the way that they measure us is different. Where's the spirituality and the measurement? You know what I mean? Where's all of the science when it comes to deciding who is going to receive what it is? Are they in alignment with the quote unquote days and ages that we live in, with the music that they're making? Don't be rewarding somebody that's out of motherfucking time and they're not on time with their message and whatnot. They shouldn't be getting rewarded. And that's the technology of these award shows. So I politely would say, screw them. But I don't want to keep talking because we have guests in the building and whatnot. And I told you that we finna open up the floor and bring in some guests tonight before we get up out of here. We just want to, give y'all some updates and whatnot, some sauce about what's going on out there in our network. If you're not familiar, because we ain't been online in a few weeks, so we back now, and we're bringing gifts, and those gifts come in the form of opportunities to have new experiences or opportunities to receive a science that you just can't walk into Walgreens and receive anymore. Shit that you can't even go on Instagram and get. You know what I'm talking about? So we're opening up these doors. uh we outside, I'm talking about. Like I said, spring cleaning. So this is the new year. We outside, we popping out. We dusting off the cobwebs and whatnot, and we're beginning to do the work because it is work time. So without any further ado, I want to open up the floor for my good brother Dooley in the building. Salute, King. Scooch. Diamond right here. Peace, God.
You.
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You can hear me, Red?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear nothing, man.
Okay.
Hold on.
No problem. There you go.
Hold on.
You can hear me now?
I can't hear nobody.
Okay.
Let me call right back.
All right. So I'm gonna let Dooley call. In the meantime, I'm gonna open up the floor for our good sister. She's been with us before on the platform, and she's also opened up one of my classic workshops called Dropping Gems in Miami that we did. All right, with our good brother Ross Ben. All right. So without any further ado, I want to open up the floor to my good sister Nikki Morgan in the building. Peace, peace,
Peace,
peace, Nikki.
peace,
How you doing?
peace. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for
Um,
pulling up. Pardon me on the mishap with the link, but I know it's late and whatnot, so I'm not gonna hold. Huh?
that's all right. That's all right. I'm comfy in my kimono. I said I'm gonna make sure I put on a little bit of clothes for this
That's right.
hour. But
That's right. I need the plug for the male kimonos because y'all be out here doing the most. I'm like, I need to get my kimono on.
oh, we got you. We got you. Don't even
So how
worry.
you
We got
been? First and foremost, I haven't seen you in a
oh,
minute.
exceedingly well. My solar return was on the 19th of March, so I took some time to go inward. I had a nice ayahuasca ceremony, and
Oh,
I'm
you was with Mama.
I was with Mama. She showed me some things. I'm ready. Yep.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And that's great to hear. Happy belated. You know what I'm talking
Mm.
about?
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
I was
And I
talking
see.
about earlier, my son's second rotation was on April the 2nd. Yeah, he's heavy on his tools and whatnot.
Ooh, I
And
see
that was
that.
exciting.
Mm-hmm.
2 years really is feeling like 5 to me because
And
I've been through a lot with him in particular, going because he came in April of 2020, which was like the beginning of the lockdown.
mm-hmm. Yep.
So the fact that this whole pandemic is like is like 10 years in dog years, so much has happened in 2 years that when he turned 2, I'm like, damn, it's only been it's 2? Like it's feeling like 5 because you've been through a lot, shorty. You've
Mm-hmm.
been through world wars, pandemics, the vaxes, and all of that. So, I'm just very grateful. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Mm-hmm. The little ones born now, they definitely came with a purpose. And I know You also, because right, because when they're born, they make you the way you make them. So he made you daddy. So happy anniversary to that as well.
Oh, for sure. I was like, yo, the fact that you picked me, bro, to be a part of this movie, right? This movie that you making, like I'm honored. You know what I mean? Because I could feel it. I feel chosen. I
Hmm.
feel like he chose him, me, and his mother. I was even watching Sister Myra on Brother Rich the other night, and she was talking about twin souls and soulmates and whatnot. And she was dropping some real interesting science, and it didn't go above my head that these babies to be coming back with this spirit. I'm like, yo, I told my son's mother, I was like, that was your husband in another lifetime. The way he be handling you, like,
That's
make
how
no
it be.
mistake about it. That was Bay right there. You know what I mean? Because he don't act like he's not. It's not just a mother son thing. Like he's Ralph Cramden in this bitch. Like he's on his honeymoon is swag right now. Like I'm telling
To the
you,
moon.
the way he be doing his mom,
Yes.
like I'm like, yeah, that was your husband back in some
Yes.
lifetime or something, or your brother or something. Like they have returned. These are
Mhm.
our ancestors for real, for
Yeah.
real. And like you said, they here for they not he'll laugh at some shit, but he's like, all right, jokes over. Like what's popping with like spin the block again. You know what I mean? Like they just want to drill. He's determined.
Mhm. They come here for a purpose, no time to waste. They know exactly what they're here for.
Right. I'm in
And
I'm in Atlanta currently having conversations about creating more than just a play date, but a space for these new ones to
mhm.
like, so they could congregate. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
little man be in his house and whatnot, and I'm like, yeah, you need to be at Boss Baby Enterprises with the rest of the Boss Babies. Like,
You know,
he
you
on
should
his
talk
cell
to
phone cooking
Dooley.
shit up, huh?
Oh, go ahead.
Nah, he's on the iPhone making apps and whatnot. I'm like, whatever we need to get you in a spot with some tablets. All of y'all might be able to make the metaverse. You know what I mean? Y'all might be able
Mhm.
to do what Facebook can't do, my niggas, because y'all on something different.
And more. What I was gonna mention was Dooley, what he's been doing with his babies, he's been showing them healing techniques, like energetic healing techniques. And Dooley is like a spiritual surgeon. And I've seen his work, and he's very grounded in the chaos when he's able to pull out disease. He's able to shrink a bunion in front of your eyes. And he's teaching his babies that. And we were just having that conversation saying, it's not too soon for the babies to start learning these things.
The school, like how they had the School of X-Men,
Mhm.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that type of level. Professor X, like we need the school for mutants
Yeah.
because these little ones are mutants right now. I'm talking about good mutants, but
Mhm.
they need to be in an environment where their DNA is going to be addressed the
Right.
way that we need to program them
Mhm.
consciously and subconsciously to be super herus, super
Yeah.
sapiens. They
Yep.
don't need no fluff right now. They need straight. You know how they be like, you can't feed a baby steak.
Mhm.
Feeding them impossible steak. You feed a baby impossible steak.
Beyond
Impossible
steak. That's
cheese
right.
and all of that. They get it all.
For real though. Because and we already know the epigenetics, right? We just got to give them the environment because the cells always want to excel. That's what it wants to do.
Pardon me.
So,
Right. I think in some of these off-grid places, they got the hereafter farms and some other places like, people are buying acres that's off the grid.
mhm.
It has a higher potential. And then you see people popping up in Tulum and
Mhm.
tropical places, right? Where the sun, the environment, mama, the water is good, it's clean, clear water. The sun is beaming, you know, the land is fertile. In
Mhm.
those places are conducive. You know, But there's also other environments that may not be super tropical that also may work and whatnot. But a lot of these off-grid communities have the opportunity to really, create some great institutions that are going to feed the genius in these little ones
Yeah,
and
that's
have
exactly
real
it.
world results.
And we can't hesitate. And the thing is that right, there's still this old paradigm conversation that our genes are still having, our cells are still having, that we are putting down. But it's like in our logical way of looking at things, if you know that your thoughts are created, then what makes you decide that everything else is limited? You know?
Facts.
So it's like, just lean into it. I'm encouraging us. Let's lean into it, and it has to be the collective. It got to be the collective. Your children are fresh off this boat, and their imaginations, how they perceive things, is beyond what we have been trained. And so while we're busy putting it down, they don't need to put it down. Just allow them the environment. You don't have to teach them what to think. You just got to teach them how. That's it.
And
That's
you're
it.
you're you're involved in
It's School
online
of Thought.
education, right? Can you
Yes, I
share that with
am.
with my audience?
Yes, absolutely. So my partners, Sauce God and
Sauce,
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 South,
sauce.
South. So
Yeah,
you go with
add
South,
logo there.
South. So South God and Shabri Moore, who the superintendent and the principal and also the founders of School of Sauce. We have recently gotten our accreditation. Excuse me, we recently gotten our 501(c). We so everyone who is wishing to donate, but what we are doing is, while it started with his album, and we made a curriculum based around his album, and his album was based around his own awakening. And so in that sequence, we were able to build something that attracted and magnetized um, gurus and professionals from all around the world through Clubhouse, and now they are here teaching these students. So our last session we were doing astrology, and so the parents as well as the students were also being taught. And so what happens is, while the students are learning how they're learning their astrological makeup, they're learning how to apply it, so that way when they have their first heartbreak in the world, they'll understand that that heartbreak is not a forever, but that it was something that it was intended for, because it was in their stars and it was for them to be learning. And so while they're going through that, and they also know how to create their own, they know how to create their own astrological maps, they then are able to be supported by the parents. So now when your parents are going through, you know what, my child is just hard-headed and I can't deal with it, that's old paradigm. Now they can understand that, oh, you know what, my child is a Taurus and his Taurus is in this, and I'm here, and so this is why we go, and so that's why we go head to head. So now I know that this is how I can embrace him, because I know that by year 2 he's going to be ready, or she's going to be ready, or they are going to be ready to start their own business, and then they're going to learn how. And so what you do is, again, that's how we cultivate the environment for the epigenetics. So there won't be just a few billionaires, there's going to be many trillionaires that is coming from that, and beyond that, because we're also this year we're doing biology, and biology is not just understanding the compartmentalized way the body works, but we're also tying in how the astrology matches into these bodies. We're also understanding how our emotions are also translated in these organs. And then our next semester, we're going into alchemy. So then we'll be able to go into the magic of these things with the information. So every semester builds upon the next. And it's a really powerful group, and I always feel so amazing when I'm in class with us, and we have so much more to do.
Hold
And
on.
by the way, anyone who wishes to donate, we are open to donations. We are open to donations just so that y'all
We have a
know.
few guests in the building, and I
Yes.
want to open up the floor for them. But when I get back to you, I want to know more about the full body orgasms.
Oh, I can't wait to share. Okay.
Okay, so Brother Dooley, do you want me to bring you in first, or do you want me to bring all of our other guests in and then bring you on last? Okay, I'm reading his lips. He says, "Bring the goddesses in first." You know what I mean? The divine feminine. Get them in the building, and then he'll come in. He'll be there in a minute. All right. So, without any further ado, I want to open up the floor for our next guest tonight, Sister Adara. All right. Yes. Let me pull you up. Peace. Peace.
How you doing? How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for pulling up.
Oh, of
I'm
course.
honored. Greetings.
Honored to be here. Yes, thank
Yes,
you.
indeed. How you doing tonight?
Wonderful, wonderful. Just got back in from Brooklyn and Philly. I just did a workshop with Hank and Dooley on tantric orgasm. Our camera going. There we
Okay,
go.
so you was
There we
tapping
go.
into the tantric orgasms.
Yeah.
Hold
So I
on.
did demo. Done.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good conversation tonight.
Yeah, I hope so.
Shout
Look
out to
forward to
Uncle
it.
Hickey. Yo, he gave me this November 7th on my right around the time of my first son's birthday, right?
Mm,
This Orgon necklace.
mm.
I saw Lloyd Strayhorn. We was in Atlanta this weekend, and he had to see out one of these on. This right here is a magnet for real. Like I've been attracting so much the minute I put it on. Like powerful. I see you got a little one too. We were talking about
Yeah.
the indigos, the star seeds and whatnot. And I
We
see
actually
you got the young goddess,
God, actually, we
the
just
young
celebrated
god.
his
Okay.
second birthday on April 2nd as well. You
Wait a
know,
minute. The same
yeah,
day as months? Come on.
yeah. And it's funny that you guys were talking
Look
about
how
that
that
because I think
works.
it was wonderful. We got dinosaurs everywhere still.
Won't he do it?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. And it's funny that y'all were talking about that because a couple weeks ago I put on my Instagram a video of me teaching him telekinesis. So yeah,
Right.
I got some that up there and everybody was loving it. And like everybody that I knew started putting up videos of them teaching their kids or just practicing telekinesis and moving foil and stuff. It was real tight. It was real tight. So
I'm trying to
you know,
tell you this new crop of parents who are, the baby is enlightened from the womb because
yeah.
you already the third eye is awakened, the light is on. You know what I mean? Like they're already born enlightened because mama's already enlightened. So it
Sure.
goes back to what they say about a nation rising as high as their women. You can see the results of an enlightened mother because she's giving birth to star seeds.
Absolutely.
This wasn't normal a few decades ago. Like this wasn't you didn't see that was an anomaly.
Yes. Yeah, man. It's a cool world we're living in now, man. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So I'm just glad to be a part of it, put my little pieces in.
That's right. All right, so I'm gonna open up the next floor. I'm gonna bring on our next guest for the night, our good sister Nikki Monty Sonic in the building. All right. So without any further ado, let me open up the floor for our good sister Nikki in the building. Peace. Greetings. Let me take this down.
Greetings.
Greetings. Peace. Welcome, Nikki Monty Sonic Alchemist.
Thank you.
I see those sound bowls behind you, right?
Yeah,
Ready
these
to
are
change up the frequency. Feel
yeah,
free
these
to
are
hit it a few
master
times if you need to. You know what I mean?
these are master healing gongs. They changed my life and they changed a lot of people's lives.
They are beautiful.
Yeah.
I can feel the energy emanating off of it just sitting here.
Mhm.
Indeed. So, how are you doing tonight? Welcome to Melanin Mondays.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm hop ate up. I took my little medicine. So
Right,
I'm
you
getting
hop
ready to
that,
getting ready to call it an evening, but
So,
me and these wonderful sisters and brother Dooley are doing something really fabulous coming up very soon here in the Atlanta area. And I'm one of the practitioners that will be utilizing my tools, my 5 gongs, to administer sonic alchemy so that I can create space for people to go deeper within themselves for their healing experience.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. So let me go ahead and open up the floor for our good brother Dooley, so we can have a conversation collectively. I didn't want to leave anybody out. I didn't feel that that would be fair. So I'm gonna bring the brother in the building so we could chop it up. All right. So without any further ado, I'm opening up the floor for our good brother Dooley in the building.
To this day. To this day.
Damn right.
Peace, Dooley.
What's going on, God? DMT time.
Us, never them. Indeed, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I was just doing some Qigong, vibing with the sisters and the brothers early on the Zoom call. And I was like, yo, we got to jump on with Red tonight, you know? So,
Yes,
yeah, man,
indeed.
it's a pleasure to be here, man.
Before I even open up and start running my mouth, I want everybody on the panel to just introduce themselves to my network, to the audience. Let them know what your superpowers are, because I'm feeling like, you know what I mean? This is like the X-Men force right here. You know, we have superheroes, individuals who are tapping into what is considered a superpower, even though you might not see it as that. Just think about the effect that you have on the average quote unquote person who may not have found their quote unquote superpower or a power that they can utilize to improve and transform lives. So I'm gonna start with you, Dooley, and then we could go
Okay.
to Nikki, Adara, and then Sister Nikki Morgan.
Okay. Well, some of my superpowers is that I deal with Qi on an extreme level. I've been doing Qi Kong and Tai Chi about over 25 years now. And the first time I realized I could do some shit with it was that I started starting cars up on the street. So
I was there. Facts. I've seen that happen. That's a Snapple fact. Going to Boston. When we met, Dooley, was that the beginning of your journey?
it was a little earlier than that, but that's when it started really getting interesting. You know what I mean? And I just seen somebody on IG. She gave me a shout out because Kevin Gates was doing it. He said that he did join the start in the car, and people were trying to clown him. But I was like, nah, that shit is real. I've done it several times. You know what I mean? And he just didn't have the lingo to explain what he did. But I totally understand what the brother did, because I'm, like I said, we're electrical beings, man. You just gotta know how to cultivate the energy. And then after that, I started taking certain diseases and illnesses out of people. You know, so it was like one client, I took cancer out of his stomach. You know what I mean? Like 2 weeks ago, I took this tumor out of this chick's neck. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, was last year, this woman had some feet issues. She had these big lumps on her feet for past 8 years. Foot doctors couldn't do nothing to it. So I get in the zone. I get in a trance. And when I get in a trance, I start it's like lasers that come out of my fingers. You know what I mean? And the first time I was really deep to see that was when I was chilling with Brother Hank. And we was with one of these elders doing the iboga. The iboga is the time travel plant from Africa. It's very good for people dealing with addiction and stuff. And the elder, he gave a ceremony to me and Hank with the iboga. So I noticed the elder had swelled up leg, you know. So I asked the elder, you know, I'm like, yo, do you want me to work on you real quick? Next thing I know, my hand just started shaking uncontrollably. And it looked like a hologram that came out of my forearm. It was greenish. It came out of my forearm. It went over the elder's leg. It went like it scanned it, right? And next thing I know, it's like doing like basically yeah, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Next thing I know, like in 2 minutes, the swelling went down. And Hank was like, yo, dude, you be on that Dragon Ball Z shit. And he's like, man, if you could do that on that level, I can imagine what you could do with the ladies. I was like, yo, Hank, yeah, I was like, you need to chill. But that's real too. I gave this sister her first full body orgasm on an energetic level, and that's real. It's better than having regular sex. I mean, it's on a whole nother level. I'll let the ladies explain that one. But
Wait,
yeah,
so can men experience that a friend asking for a friend?
yo, I didn't even know it was gonna happen like that. She just was smoking the shonga, and next thing I know, the sister tell me, no, next thing I know, spirits is like, yo, concentrate on the energy going to her yoni. And next thing I know, she had a full body orgasm. You know what I mean? And she thanked me so much because she was been looking for something more than just this physical type of sex that she's been used to so many years. She wanted to look for something more. So she's been telling her girlfriends and all that, like, yo, there's levels to this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was feeling what she was feeling, which was wild. And I tell you, man, beautiful, man, beautiful, bro. So it's definitely levels to it. The energy thing is amazing. Also I deal with thunder. You know what I mean? I call on the thunder. You know what I mean? When I'm in the zone. You know what I mean? So I have a good connection with the thunder beings.
Is that strong go?
Yeah, that.
Your mic is out.
I was working with the homie. I had a homie that was he had a stroke, and I told him, I was like, you're gonna walk again, bro. You know what I mean? And he's like, word? I was like, nah, they showed me you're gonna walk again. And I work with different medicines. So I worked with the bufo, the toad with him. And I did some things, my higher self kicked in and did some things for the brother. And when the ancestor, before the ancestors came through and told me the healing was over, my macabre opened. You know what I mean? It's light blue and white. You know what I mean? It was spinning like crazy. Energy shot up my spine, went through my head, and it was going at the speed of light up to the sky. And next thing I know, it hit something and it just started to thunder. It was like boom. And there was this roster that seen the whole thing across the street. He was like, yo, man, I seen that. He said, you started the thunder out here. You know what I mean? So yeah. But from an early age, my father told me that we all have powers. You know what I mean? I came from a very spiritual household. So I was fortunate to get this science at a very young age. So my father told me, yeah, you could walk through walls, you could fly, all those things. You just got to master your mind. And in India, they call it the Siddhis, Siddhi. So my father was deep into Eastern philosophy and metaphysics. So he told me, yeah, anybody could develop the Siddhis. But once I just started seeing things, it's one thing to read about it, and it's one thing to experience it. So when I started experiencing stuff and seeing like literally tumors disappear before my eyes, bro, it just opened up a whole different paradigm for me, man.
Beautiful, my brother. I appreciate that.
No doubt.
Indeed. No doubt. All right, Sister Nikki.
Yes.
Indeed.
So, I guess I'll give a brief explanation I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay. So, where do I start? To keep it brief, I was introduced to sound through my family. My mother was a singer. My father was a percussionist from Puerto Rico, and he played a lot of different instruments. And I was introduced at a very young age to the stage and bands and things of that nature, and understanding how the power of sound actually gets people motivated or in the mood and all these different things. And then born and raised in Germany. In Europe, it's a whole different world when it comes to entertainment and access to people that are younger. And started self-trained in piano, guitar, saxophone, and other different instruments. But Then when I lived in New York for a little bit, I interned at a very prominent studio that is shut down now. And I was in the A&R department working with some very wonderful people. And I got to experience a lot of different things about studio and sound and loving the
Right.
production process. I went into music production and DJing. And, and then my healing journey started within that. In 2016, I was able to go to Sedona and I created something very beautiful for myself, and it started to really propel me on my healing journey because I was intentionally creating music to support myself. And then started collecting little things like a little bowl here, a little tuning fork here, shit like that. And then next thing you know, I have 5 gongs, 14 bowls, 7 crystal bowls, play the hand drum. Uh, for my ancestors, I have a buffalo high drum and also a Remo synthetic drum, a rattle that's made from horse. All of these are ethically and sustainably made, not by murdering any animals, but in a ritual fashion, taking from the animal as it gives life to us, honoring our native Aboriginal traditions. And I play the drone flute, and I make sure that I understand the frequencies that come from metals, because a lot of people don't understand that metals are alchemical. And that's why I
Right.
call what I do sonic alchemy, because it literally um, infiltrates the system and the nervous system so that it can bring about the change that is necessary. So we start from the basics. There's a protocol that I utilize, and we start with light cutting, which comes from the crystal bowls, and we go into the 7 to 9 metal Tibetan bowls, which let me get one right quick so people know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay.
So So everyone knows what the crystal singing bowls look like, but a lot of people don't know that they have a 40 to 42 year history, whereas they were developed as a mistake in the West Coast, and then it was a mistake with glass, but then the glass became sound, and then they said, well, let's sell this. And over the years, it's become very popular amongst yogis, people that do breath work, or things that involve the healing industry in general. They cut like a knife. It's one tone. I call that a sign, and it gets right to the root of it. And one thing that I like to educate people about is not to be confused, because the chakras or chakra or kakra is not necessarily one frequency. So when you
Right.
go to these sound sessions, make sure that you keep an open mind to the fact that you're listening to sounds, and allow the sounds to heal you and not to focus on specific energy centers, because our energy is changing constantly, which is why I prefer to work with these bowls. And it's a blessed full metal bowl. If you can see the different patinas and the different patterns,
Yes.
unless you know that there's many different metals that are utilized to develop this, and when you play it, more than one frequency.
Right.
So when you're getting that, you're getting a lot more effective healing. And this is the second stage to my protocol that was downloaded to me by going on different medicine journeys and different conversations with ancestors and things of that nature. And
Beautiful.
then
Beautiful.
I get into the gongs. So you see 2 of them over here,
Mhm.
and I would turn the camera, but you may see some things. But and
Right.
then I get into playing that, and usually the popular thing now is to use the European gongs. And I always tell people to start with where it came from, which is the source, which is, I mean, obviously it all comes from us,
Right.
but Asia has the secrets. So when you go to the Asian islands like Java, Bali, Malaysia, and things of that nature, they have different types of gongs that are used in ceremony or for entertainment. But these gongs specifically are large cymbals, and they're not played gently. These are played as celebratory instruments that get rid of negative spirits, uplift the ancestors, recalibrating and resetting your nervous system. And with Europe, they're utilizing more secrets that deal with their culture and not necessarily the culture of the world, and how we used to travel and identify with these different things because we were nomadic um, travelers that picked up a lot of different things along the way, so our cultures kind of mesh. And these instruments are wonderful instruments for us because of how much power that they carry. So the one that's here is like a subwoofer, and the one over here is more like water. And then in here I have two subwoofers because we love bass. So that gets to the energy to start stirring up within yourself. And it raises up, and then the other two gongs that I have, which are more flat and don't have a rim, it kind of assists in washing away all of the things that don't serve you that come up when the bass gets all of that up in there. If I'm saying this right, because I'm trying to keep it short and sweet.
You painting the picture. You are definitely painting the picture. I can see it.
Yeah, thank you. And then I have crystal chimes, and they're called koshi chimes, and they work with the elements. So they bring about an emotive feel to help close everything out and bring people back, because sometimes people leave to go and collect information. And I play all 5 gongs at the same time, which, if you understand channeling and bringing forth information to assist others, then you know that your body is not your own, and the spirit comes in and it starts to do what it needs to do, because everybody in that room needs something different. So there's layers and levels to playing the gongs as well, because that is my master tool. And I enjoy and I love what I do because I see the transformation, because the healing started with myself. So I do it ultimately for me, because I do have the best seat in the house when I'm right up on it. So I always encourage everybody to get as close as you can, and to also, breathe through it and let go, because it doesn't matter if there's any type of herbal or medicinal work that is going on in the background. This is going to do what it needs to do, whether you feel it today, tomorrow, or a year later. It's going to recalibrate your cells so that you can be more receptive to what is needed within that moment. So my sessions assist in a reset. It assists in calling forth the energy that is necessary and making space within your cells and your atoms, as we are predominantly water. Removing all that stagnant frequency that we're getting from people, places, circumstances, situations, towers, interactions that we don't even identify with because our auric fields are crossing all the time. It's very beautiful work. So I enjoy what I do. So that's the gist of what I do. I love that.
Somebody in the chat said that Nikki Monty gets sick with the house and the techno tunes.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, I do have music that is out online. I do produce house music, Afro Indigenous, acid house, techno,
That's your superpower as well. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
can get in there,
frequency in general, yes.
frequency, right? The frequency goddess. I really look forward to that demonstration that you speak of, because you painted that picture beautifully. You know what I mean? So
thank you.
yes, indeed. So let's go on to our next guest of the evening, Sister Adara. Yes.
Hey, yeah. So, my name is Adara Moselle. I am a tantric shaman, chi manipulator, energy worker. I also help people return back to their original DNA blueprint. Right. I do activations. I help people ascend, if you will, quote unquote. I do light body work. I do a lot of work with the heart, dealing with your soul and getting back information from your soul, and just general explorer of all things weird, man. I'm just in the 5th dimension sometimes. I'm in terrestrial body, third, I'm just a ratchet healer, It's a ratchet healer out here. And God is in the hood, right?
I love it.
Yeah, that's where I am. So I do all of that mostly through shamanic tantra, which is using your sexual energy to purify it and refine it into spiritual energy. And like Brother Dooley said, it turns into cities or powers, if you will. I have been initiated into the sutras, so I've done some work with that. But yeah, I just be working that energy, baby, and however it comes out is how it comes out. So it'd be blissful, emotional healing, a physical healing, just awakening your mind some. That's what I'm here for.
Are you also gifted with the ability to bring about full body orgasms?
Ah, it's my specialty. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, actually teach it. I'm gonna
To this
actually teach
day,
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to this
yeah,
day.
yeah, man. That's my
Okay,
heart.
okay. You got
That's my
some hitters
heart.
in the building. All right. Good start. That's what's up. That's
Yeah, it's
what's
it's
up.
good work, man. It's a karma-free, fun work, and I also a mushroom shaman. So, like for our thing tonight, that we're putting together, I'm gonna be doing some mushroom tantra work. That's gonna be,
You
it's
said
gonna
that you the
be
mushroom
elite.
shaman?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's my specialty. Like my relationship is with the mushroom plants.
Psilocybin?
Psilocybin, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, specifically. So I cultivate specific environments and then I channel whatever energy. So I channel a lot like angels, deities, ancestors, elementals,
Right.
whatever. That's the shaman part of the tantra.
Right,
That's the
right,
shaman
right.
part of the tantra.
Okay.
So yeah, that's me. That's a Dara Moselle.
My panel of X-Men is looking lit tonight. Let me find out. Superpowers on fleek. All right. Well, hey, let me hit you with your next goodbye. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And I look forward because the picture that you painted as well is one that is very it is piquing my interest.
It's interesting
Um,
shit, man.
yeah, I feel more enlightened just sitting here. Like it feels like a session. You know what I mean? So no, I'm serious because like I opened up this show and I spoke about the fact that I took a hiatus and a break, for spring cleaning, and this new cycle that I'm on for the new year is really going to be focusing on this work that everybody
Yeah,
on this panel is speaking of.
yeah.
The work of being able to you know transform, transmit, transmutate, and transcend the mundane,
Mm-hmm.
because 2022 is screaming at people to get their shit together,
Mm-hmm.
but not on the plane that social media and other places may be, or the quote unquote matrix is pointing us in. Not that place, not looking outside of ourselves. Like I was talking about earlier, they got people focusing on Elon Musk and all of these
Right.
spaceships,
Right.
but the trip to go inside is being, it's not, it should be given 10 times more attention than
Absolutely.
these fake space trips. We're still being caught up in the fantasy, but reality is in front of us right now.
Absolutely. And if I could like sum up just the whole mission that what I'm doing is like I'm trying to remind people that spirit came first. Like
Right,
everything we learn is like what your melanin does, all of this stuff. It's because your spirit came first. And all we need to know is how to get your physical body out the way. And then you can do all that amazing stuff that Dooley was talking about. Like
right,
just get out your way and let your spirit take over and you're gonna win, dog. I swear.
right,
I swear you're gonna get everything you're looking for. Like all the
right.
way.
That's what's up. All right,
That's right.
so my good sister Nikki Morgan in the building. I want to know, based off of your assessment, what are some of your superpowers?
Mm. Well, I gotta say, I am grateful to have connected with all of my family here because we share, like we share. So, as Adara said, speaking to touch this orgasm, that's something I have been doing for about a little over 10 years now. And what I do with the orgasm is I bring people to I teach people how to travel to their zero point, and also how to access the different emotions that are existing in their organs, and also how to take the alchemy of our intimacy with our bodies. So this is this is something that everyone can do when they start to understand their bodies more. So
Right,
just to further um, gauge what I'm saying, when your body is in full arousal, this is when all of your senses begin to kick in. And so your telepathy, your energetic connections. And frankly, if you're able to understand how to walk orgasmically, you then become that portal, that genie, and everything that you care about will come, to matter. That's exactly it. And
Right.
so this is one of the gifts. There's many things to do with that, but I'm just mentioning those for right now because, as you can see, we can go on and on. As my brother Dooley is serving himself some rape. Uh,
Only Dooley would do something like that.
of course, this is the drunken master right here.
Right.
So, so in addition, I am also a seer. So I can see and feel our timelines and feel when they're coming in exactly, and who and where and what. So you can also consider it like a cosmic talent agent, if you will.
Right, right. Did you say a
So
cosmic talent agent?
I said cosmic talent agent. That is
I
exactly what
like
I
it.
said.
I
So
like it. I
meaning,
love it.
so really, like, I get you what you need. That's also what I'm using my orgasmic energy for. Um, so I spend a lot of time in zero point, but then I come back and I'm able to share and speak and be able to be of service the way I'm here for.
Right.
I'm also a Reiki master. I also serve medicine. Specifically, I have a relationship with 5-MeO DMT. I have a relationship
That
um,
Bufu?
with Bufu, with Bufu, yes, with psilocybin, as well as with Datura, which is the dark mother goddess plant. And she's an ultimate protector, and so that also brings me into deep womb work. It also brings me into deep shadow work. Um, uh, and there are a lot of other things that I could list, but one of the things that I do enjoy is serving my spiritual community. So I do serve as a bridge. So whatever it is that we require, because I want us to be in our freest space, and I've spent a lot of time in our matrix, and I've learned it well. I come in and out of it. And I gotta
Right.
tell you that I don't mind trying it. I don't mind compelling. I don't mind bending. And so with that talent, that latest talent that I mentioned, I am also supporting our group for our interdimensional journeying retreat that we have coming up. And for this ceremony, the reason why it's interdimensional journeying is because it it's for a full week, and we start the week in a beautiful mansion where we are experiencing our psilocybin journeying, of all different kinds, including Adara's bliss states, okay, including touch this orgasm, and definitely our sonic alchemist over here, Nikki Monty, and then also Bro Dooley with his spiritual surgery and all of the things that he has going on. We all have multidimensional talents and gifts, and if we started to list them here, we would be here all night.
Right.
Um, but I will say that for coming up, we will have qigong, we will have entheogen yoga, and that will be held by Sunny Ray. And then the other half of our journey, we're going to go out into nature, and we're going to learn survival techniques. So we're going to become even more intimate with the universe, more intimate with our nature. So we get intimate with the body, we get intimate with our physical, we get intimate with our inner world, we get intimate with our nature. This is a retreat that you will you're going to leave changed. You're going to leave transformed. Your DNA will be enlivened and activated.
Mm. Hold on.
Um,
To
hold
this
up.
day, to this day.
Yeah.
That part. That
That's
part.
my Brooklyn Jamaican. But
Lee got shot.
come again.
Wait,
Come
hold on,
again.
hold on. Parkway action. It's giving me Eastern Parkway.
Yo, that was some good years, boy. Wind up on the parkway.
Why not find it?
Ah.
So
Yes.
no, that is, man, I'm excited. Can we give them a website if they want to tap into the to this retreat?
Yeah, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna I love my family because right now I can hear them very loudly. I can hear them very loudly. What y'all are gonna do for right now is you're gonna reach out to bit.ly/interdimensional journey. Okay, and you'll be able to leave your information, and then you'll get you'll get more information about it, because again, there's only a certain amount of people that we're going to allow to come for this journey, and we want to make sure that everybody gets the right information, and it will be first come first serve. So I'm
Right.
looking forward to
Is that spelled correctly? Oh no, hold on. They gave it the Ebonics treatment. Let me take that
hold
off.
up, hold up, 1 second, y'all. Hold on, I got you. That was so loud. I love it.
Interdimensional journey. What's the date on this?
The date is May 25th. I'm sorry, April 25th through May 2nd. And if you can't make the whole thing, then you can definitely you're invited to come to a portion of it. It's really up to you how you decide you
What
want to design your journey.
what state is it in?
It's gonna be in Atlanta,
Ooh,
Atlanta,
ooh,
Georgia.
ooh. Yeah, that's lit. That's lit. So here you go, family. That's the address right there. Or you can email. Feel free if you need to email me about any questions pertaining to this. Red Pillar 75 at Proton Mail, and we'll make the connection. But this is your way to also find what you need to find. I'm gonna leave it right there. And yeah, man. I want to ask the panel, for somebody that's starting out on their journey to know themselves, and they want to tap into their sensuality, they want to do some of the shadow work, they want to deal with their dark side, or what it is their ego may be doing or interfering in their growth and development. What would you say would be some of the first steps that somebody can take? Yes.
I like to, if I could say
Yes,
something
put it off,
first,
Nikki.
something that I encountered when I started my journey are, start with yourself first and do all that you can, and then your healer will show up or your teacher will show up to assist you in your healing process. To not constantly look outside of yourself and to not rely on anybody for your journey. There's people that come for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And
Bars.
to make sure that when you find that person or that person finds you, or when you connect together, that you're in a space of love, kindness, compassion, and no judgment, because we've all done things that we regret. We've all walked certain walks that we have had shame with, or may still be experiencing shame. Even as healers, we're still doing our work. So sometimes when you meet us, you're mirroring something and you become our teacher. So just to be open to all the experiences and make sure that as you're going through that, find nuances that are comfortable for you when you work with somebody, so that you can have the most pleasant journey possible. So find somebody that you mesh with, that can walk with you as long as you need that person's support.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So, I guess I'll take the whole sensual thing or sexual situation. So, the first thing people have to do is change their mindset about most things. right? One, what you think sensuality is, what you think about sex, what you think about sexual energy, the uses of it, because most people are not having sex because they actually want to engage and show love to whoever they're with. A lot of times it's about control. It's about all type of things that have nothing to do with sex whatsoever, or a heart-centered connection with anybody. You see what I'm saying? So start there, right? And then after that, you want to stop limiting yourself as far as your expression of yourself. Like, stop being afraid to be yourself. You see what I'm saying? The part of us that we deny is the biggest teacher for us, right? Your divine will. Like, nobody really talks about the divine will, but your divine will makes space for your manifestations to come to fruition. You see what I'm saying? It's a major part of the spirit that nobody talks about, right? So when you shut yourself down, either sexually, mentally, you have low confidence, any of these things, it's going to play a part in all of your life, and it's going to just hold you down. So that small thinking, the fact you feel like you can't make noises, or brothers feel like they can't have emotions, or it makes them weak, like all of that weird fucking thinking, like you got to let that stuff go. You see what I'm
So you're
saying? All
telling
of
the
that is
men to moan?
colonization. And
Hold on.
go ahead.
Telling the men to moan?
Hell yeah, you better.
You need that sound. You need
Yeah.
that sound.
Come on. I'm putting in all this work and you'll be quiet. How dare you? That's so
Yeah, we need that. We enjoy knowing that we're doing, the act is
Right,
enjoyable.
you need some feedback.
Yeah, come on. Yes. Yes.
So you need us to hit the sound bowl a few times.
Yeah.
Like, don't sound like me. It's like a man,
Of course.
but at the same
Now,
time.
'cause on Clubhouse, they had moan rooms for men. Men was in the room moaning, and I didn't know if that was a safe space.
I mean, if they're not looking at you and they're looking at a woman moaning, no disrespect to anybody. Yeah, it's a safe space, man, because your voice has power.
So y'all
it's
want
sound healing.
Right, sound healing. So for the record, tonight on this panel, the beautiful goddesses that are amongst us are saying to the men that are out there, there's brothers right now with their ears glued to their phones or their laptops. Are y'all saying that it's a pro moaning thing?
Yes.
Yes.
You saying pro mono?
I'm pro mono.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
You learning something tonight.
Yes.
That's right. The moan out, right?
100%.
Under.
Yeah. It shows me your throat chakra is open. It shows me you're connected to your genitals and your heart. It shows me a lot that you're alive. Like, come on, y'all. It shows you that you're alive.
That's right. You're in the moment.
Yeah, be present.
That's that. If being present was a person, it'd be a nigga moaning.
I'm trying to tell you.
Because you're really in the moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? You'd be like, and you remember the
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm sorry, I had a flashback. I'm sorry.
The brothers were smooth with it. Like they was hitting them notes.
Yeah. And brothers seem to love women more then. They actually liked women then. Now guys just,
Laura was saying the growl and whatnot.
Yeah, all of that. Growl, make noises, all
Let
that.
it all come
They want that DMX dog bark.
Surprise
that was a
me.
wave. That was a wave. Let's stop, ladies. Stop it. That was a wave. Don't be bald headed with some Timbs on. Yeah, they wanted to hear that. For men that got their sexual education through the internet, through uncut BT and magazines and stuff like that. What would you say to those men who are basically, I would say, they're trapped in the basement of Wham Bam Thank You Ma'am Hotel. They're trapped in the basement of their root chakra, and they're trapped in the basement of not being open to exploring, true passion. Let me not say the word passion, because I was told passion etymology of that is suffering and things of that nature. No, the true sensual nature of a woman. Like they haven't been able to fully explore the true sensual body and whatnot because they were brought up on like, hypersexuality, pornography, and other things that didn't necessarily, highlight that. They were brought up by hip hop and shit. You know what I'm talking about? They was like run a train on them. Get them out the back. You know what I mean? Get backseat of my Jeep. Get them out the Jeep when you finish. You know what I mean? So what would you say to help to cure the limitation that a lot of men have on their sexual thermometers?
Man, well,
Go ahead.
well, let me say let's just say for those that are out there in the audience, there's so much that they're missing
Man.
because they limit themselves because of what they've been programmed with. And what the work that we're all doing is to deprogram. So there's so much more to experience. So I would suggest come see us.
Yeah. Like thinking like that is like the equivalent of thinking pork is good for you. That's how bad that thinking is. Like I see in the comments, people like laughing about a man moaning. The fact you think you making your own sounds is soft, just is like,
That's programming. Those are codes.
man,
Those are
It
codes.
is. It is.
yeah,
You got to
you
break
ringing
those
your own
codes.
bell. Like why wouldn't you want to explore? You see, like what are
Don't
you
be
scared of?
afraid. Don't be afraid of your own body. Do not be afraid of your own body. Don't be afraid of your fluids. The intimacy that you offer yourself is the intimacy that you will naturally offer everyone in your life. You are capable of multiple orgasms, and there's a difference between being really horny and having an abundance of sexual energy. And how I want you to express this sexual energy is exactly that. It's expression. So think about when someone's smiling at you, you naturally smile back. You don't have to think to yourself, all right, do this first, then that. Wait, I saw that on the show. Let me do that. You have to allow yourself. And if you're not sure how, because a lot of times, again, there's traumas of all kinds. And so it gets built into the DNA until you break the pattern. But if you can be aware of your pattern, if you can be aware of it and awaken to realize that you are running a pattern, then just being aware of it opens the door for it to change.
Right.
Because these statistics that are out here now that talk about straight women have less orgasms than lesbian women, the only reason that's true is not because somebody's better than the other. It's literally because there's an awareness of the body that you are not allowing. So
Yep.
you are all so while you are perceiving that you have a certain power in the world in that old paradigm, I promise you, you are also going through your own repression, and you really need to open it up. Do not be afraid of your blood flow. Do not be
Yes.
afraid of your liquids. I need you to open up. I need
Stop
you
being
to open
scared.
up.
Just stop being
Don't
Yeah.
be
scared.
scared of yourself. Don't be
Yeah. And
scared of
For
also,
yourself.
real.
yeah, I mean, there's so many limitations when it comes to programming. One of the things I teach or I speak about before I do my sessions is, you know, turn your phone off, put it on airplane mode, get it out of the room. The only frequencies we need are the ones that are in the room so that we can understand because everybody's transmuting the same frequencies and we're all healing together. And when you get into a space like that, you have to let go. You have to have these experiences because you don't know who's in there to support you. And, even in my own life, I've experienced limitations like that. And when I decided to free myself up, I had more enjoyable experiences. My womb started having conversations with other people's energy. And also with these with my sisters here that do touchless orgasm, it's not even on a physical level. This is about energy. So it's about what you're putting out and what you're receptive to. And when you start breaking these programs and these codes by, basic energy healing, breath work, yoga, meditation, movement, sun gazing, tree bathing, all these different things, anything that works for you, you're going to start understanding that you are so important to nature. We're all a part of this whole thing. And we all come from source energy. We're coming from a pool of knowledge. So we need to continue to have these experiences. So when we leave here, we can take it back. We can be the greatest ancestors our families and our children have ever known. and that we can continue this healing process. But the limitations that people have now, it's just programming.
Yeah.
It's codes. And I keep telling people we're perfectly created biological computers. We're electrical frequency.
The
And
greatest
we're
technology.
working with all of this in our whole being, like bones, blood, organs, all these things put together simultaneously so we can have these experiences in the flesh. So enough with the limitations. Like, present yourself
Right.
to certain opportunities so that you can really see what living is about. And
Yeah.
it's not about limitations. It's really
You
about
know,
freedom and perfect alignments.
I witnessed one of the brothers with the touchless orgasm this past Wednesday in Brooklyn
Did he
when
moan
Adara
good?
when Adara was working with him, and we had a deep talk, me and the brother afterwards, and he was
Yeah.
saying how he was so resistant at first because it's a lot of just control. So he was like, he was fighting it. But then after a while, he's like, yo, bro, all I felt was like just this energy started to move from my base chakra. And next thing I know, I was in tears, bro. And he had this deep emotional release. And from a brother to a brother, just talking about how a woman could heal him like that, it was amazing. It was another brother that was there, the bald-headed brother that was working with
Mm-hmm.
you, Adara.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
saying when he first got into the tantric non-touch orgasms, he said he had one session that brought up an unconscious memory when he was 10 years old when his mom left him. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So there's levels to this. You know what I mean? Is and my father taught me when I was 12, because he used to take me to the metaphysical bookstore every Saturday. And I used to hate that shit. It was boring as hell. You know what I mean? So the only thing that I used to, keep my attention was the crystals. One day I'm walking around in the store and I come across this tantric book. It was that old school book called Sexual Secrets. It has a red stamp on it and
Mm-hmm.
all that, but it had mad pictures in it. So I'm looking through it and I'm like 12, 11 at the time, and I'm like, yo, what's this? And then my pops, he pulls up on me. He sees me looking at it. He's like, he has the talk with me right there. And he's like, look, listen, son. He said, making love is knowing God. And that
Mm-hmm.
was it for me, bro. You know what I mean? And I remember at that same day, he's like, listen, son, do not let out your seed. You know what I mean? Unless you want to impregnate a woman, keep that seed within. So he was teaching me since day one about
Mm-hmm.
inner orgasms and all that. So it's levels to this, bro. You know what I mean? When I had this one sister, she was an ex-girlfriend of mine. I was hugging her one day, and it felt like an etheric penis came out of my forehead and started penetrating her head, right? And we was having mental sex. And I swear to God, I thought I was tripping at first. I was like, yo, I ain't smoke nothing or drink nothing that day. What the hell is going on? But after I finished embracing her, she's like, yo, Dooley, what did you do to me? And that's when I realized it was real, whatever I was experiencing. She was like, yeah, it felt like you was penetrating me and you took like something out of me and then put something back in me. And it was a profound experience. And I'm telling you, there's levels to this. We're so programmed, we felt so much that we just don't know what time it is. You know what I mean?
At all.
And it reminds me of Madonna back in the day. She tried to do a music video in front of that famous tantric temple in India. I forget the name of the temple, but the people wasn't having it. They was like, nah, you ain't doing this video in front of our sacred temple here, because you have different places around the world that knew this was a way of life. Even though this tantric temple had orgies and all kinds of things, all kinds of sexual positions carved into the building, young people, kids, all that, they would pass that every day, and they wouldn't see it as something degrading or nasty or dirty or anything, because that was their culture. Something happened to us to the point that there's all these different attachments to sexuality where we're ashamed of it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Religion.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
If you see
Okay.
all of the successful cities and societies, they have They have group they show group sex all over their walls. You know what happens is it shuts down your prefrontal cortex. When it shuts down your prefrontal cortex, that is the observation of your identity, of your human identity. When you shut that down, your observation is of your infinite. So when there's groupings of that, then you amplify that energy. And when you amplify that energy, it
Fact.
works as a natural protection. It works as natural abundance. It works as natural anything that I want. If I want, if whatever it is, abundance just comes. It rains because it's an open portal to your divinity. We are divine benefactors, and we're not claiming it. So and that is
Well said.
again, it's our it comes from manufactured consent and all the things that we've been trained. And when you understand what it is to actually consent to matter, when you understand what it is to consent to matter, that is your whole body arousal saying yes to something. Not your brain saying it only, not your lips saying it only, not your eyes saying, but your whole existence of this excitement, this exuberance of something. And that is what creates it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everything can be explained in our
Mm-hmm.
biology. This is the
Mm-hmm.
greatest technology you will ever come across.
Say that again.
By far. By
Hmm.
far.
We made that. Like, don't insult me. This is, come on now. We did this. I'm taking it
For
personally
real.
sometimes. I'll be
You
like, this is
should.
genius.
You should. People tell you dumb stuff like it's smart. Don't fall for that shit.
Right.
Now, I've just experienced so many, like Dooley was saying, I've experienced so many things from brothers just being present enough with me just to give me a certain hug. And like everything about me changed, just bust out into tears, or conversely bust into orgasm, or like Nikki's saying,
Right.
we do energy work and we get the energy up high enough, and we're not touching anybody. Woman over here, woman over here, one over here, and all of us are connected together and just vibrating the whole room. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Whereas in my hair, in my eyes, in my heart, in my astral body, in my light body, and it ain't regular. It's not no wham bam, thank you, ma'am. You'll never want it again. And sometimes when you're drunk or something, like if that's what you do, sometimes it's appropriate. But
Right.
Right.
overall, you feel me? It's don't cheat yourself, man. Don't cheat yourself, guys. Just don't cheat yourself.
Yeah, this is powerful. Like, I'm going through Ramadan right now. I'm practicing the Ramadan tradition and whatnot. And somebody said earlier about manifesting, your healing or being able to do the inner work. And by doing the inner work, you can manifest and you could draw or attract your solution. You know what I mean? And I feel like tonight's panel is kind of like what I've done. I feel like this is something that I've manifested because there's so many answers that I've been hearing, and there's so many pieces of what I've been looking for, and it's basically on this panel looking at me and whatnot. So I just want to say that the timing of this is divine. The work that y'all doing is much needed. This is something that is very taboo in our communities. This is something that's kind of taboo in our networks. But in Atlanta, of all places, this is where this conversation is being. They're very receptive to these conversations out here. The energy out here is very, very open to all things sensual, sexual, and spiritual. Talking about this, we just had a conversation today on a podcast me and Blue did called Think Champs, and we were talking about the power of the red clay in Georgia. You know what I mean?
Mm.
The fact that this is, is iron. You know what I mean? It's magnetic. The red clay is magnetic. It has particles of gold in it. This land here. This is Mama's land. You know what I mean? Like, this is on the 33rd parallel, but this is the home of the divine feminine. This Atlantis for real.
Mm.
Or like Ross Ben put a bug in my ear. He told me to research Atalanta.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Atalanta.
Okay.
Not Atlantis, but to go and do the research on Atalanta. draw the comparisons of what modern day Atlanta is. But man, I do look forward to it. I do want to even even have the possibility of probably even doing a workshop with all three of you. All four of you, my bad, and bringing some well needed information to my network. You know what I mean, and really turning up. You know what I'm saying. So we'll have that conversation in very near future. You know, once again, I want y'all to let the family know where it is that they can find you social media wise. I'm sure that there are people in the audience that want to get in touch with each one of you. So please let them know how they could support you, one, and contact you.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. It's Adara Moselle on Instagram, ADARAMOSELLE on Instagram, adaramoselle.com. I do answer my DMs and such and such. Also find me on Google. Adara's Electric Touch. Easy to find. Easy to find.
So I'll follow. You can find all of my social media is Nikki Experience, nikkiexperience.com. And if you're interested, uh, I used to tour with Touchless Orgasm, and we used to do it in front of 100, 200 people at a time and involve everyone. And so you're welcome to Google that and be able to see what you'll be experiencing when we get together during the interdimensional journey this coming month.
You could reach me on Facebook, Shaman Dooley, also Shaman Dooley on Instagram. Also, just for the clarification for the date, it's going to May 1st, not May 2nd. Also, Brother Eli couldn't be on here for the survival piece, but it's family friendly too. So he said you could bring your seeds there as well. $35 only for the day, you know what I mean? $89, no, $98 for the 3 days there. He's a deep dude. He spent 15 years in Indonesia, deep into the metaphysics, man. Deep dude, if you really could talk to him. And he just want to make sure our people are on point. So he's going to do foraging, how to do all the basics to build a fire, to build a shelter. He does falconry work. The dude does archery, does gun training. He actually did some work with one of the people on the Walking Dead series that actually taught all the people on that show how to shoot the arrows and all that. So he, definitely try to make it to both parts of the retreat, but it's gonna definitely be on point. So get at me. I definitely also my email is lovemother number 33 at gmail.com. All right.
All right, and the easiest and best way to contact me is through my Instagram. That's MYSPIRITOLOGY. That's my Spiritology. Anything that you need to find, DM me. Any questions you have, feel free to ask. And also, I have a 1 hour meditation that is in my link tree in my bio. If you cannot get to a sound healer, it is an hour-long meditation that you can stream on all platforms worldwide. It includes crystal bowls, koshi chimes, and Tibetan bowls. So this is something that I suggest for people to start their rise with or to set with when they decide to go into the astral. It's a very supportive tool to assist you in ascension.
Dope, beautiful. Hold on, let me give y'all one. So this won't be the last time. We are gonna bring this panel back before the end of the month. Please believe that we're gonna have our own, a whole show where we're gonna explore a little more into the affairs of the heart, the spirit, the soul, and other places that are sacred. I might even bring Blue Pill on board so we could ask some questions and whatnot and bounce the energy off of each other. But this was a wonderful introduction. You know what I mean? I feel like I've succeeded with getting you guys familiar with my audience, and what it is that you do. You know what I mean? Like I said, we are of service to our people, here to provide tools and also the modalities that it's going to take for us to rise up. You know what I mean? Because there's nowhere else to go but up at this point.
Right.
There's nothing else to do but the work. You know what I mean? Like, we've exhausted ourselves from all the distractions. The only thing left is a alien hopping out of a goddamn UFO mid-flight. You feel me? Doing a TikTok dance. Only thing left. But we've seen practically everything else. So with all of the dust that have settled, we're still left with ourselves. We're still left with work that we still have to do. We're still left with the fact that nothing is outside of us. You know what I mean? None of those experiences, none of that gratification lasted long. It was all, for stimuli purposes. But the real energy is, the creation the creativity that we're able to manifest, the beauty that we're able to bring to this quote unquote holographic reality, and the unlocking, you know what I mean, and the deep diving that we're able to do inside of ourselves, you know what I mean, to discover some things. So keep
Well,
doing what y'all doing. Keep letting your light shine. Keep affecting the people in ways that we can't even describe it. You know what I mean? Some of this stuff is undescribable. We're in the throes of history making, as every on a daily basis. So it's even hard to see what's being done right now. We'll be able to really fully assess it in a few decades. But keep doing what needs to be done, y'all. And I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you.
thank you. Well said. Gratitude. Mirror, mirror.
So,
Indeed,
thank
indeed.
you.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, I wanna. Somebody said they need a part two, right? Ray is like, y'all need a part two.
Yeah.
Just let us know, man. Just let us know.
This is lit. I hear them balls and whatnot.
Yeah,
We
when
here.
Man.
I want to say one thing too, that when I went on one of my medicinal journeys, I was told that we are the ships.
Mm,
So
Yeah,
I
we
like
are.
people to
Yeah.
think of themselves as their ultimate salvation, and we're just here to support you.
Yes.
And we are medicine in ourselves. So whatever we have to offer each other, we have medicine for each other.
right.
Yes.
You
That's
are the
right. You
medicine.
said that we are the ships.
We are the
Yep.
ships.
We
That's
the
right.
motherships, right?
Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
are the motherships.
Yeah.
And we all have pieces to assist in the ascension process to offer each other.
Yes.
So
The Merkabas,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the
Macabre.
Nebuchadnezzars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is the Matrix. And we are here on this journey. And on this journey, we're here to discover ourselves, and we're here to actualize, prophecy, because we're in the days and times that were written, and they promised us that we were going to be doing the shit that we're doing right now.
This is true.
This was promised to us. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that the babies are being born with their eyes wide open, this is a prophecy. This was promised to us. The fact that ignorance, which was something that visited our people at a more dominant pace, is something that is, ignorance is still losing a fight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is not about everybody waking up. This is not about everybody getting to it. This is not about everybody figuring out. That's not how it works. We're here incarnating to have these experiences. Some people just got here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have, that's like being in the movie theaters and watching a movie. You worrying about the extras and whatnot. Focus on the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So I see the main characters. I'm seeing the reincarnation of whole deities and entities and demigods and stuff like that. walking this planet. So why am I worried about knuckle draggers or people who are literally, operating on a dead frequency? That's the distraction.
Right.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're finding each other, that kills the distract. That's a strike against the matrix. Because now if I could focus on, look how many people I have on the panel. Like that's helping to kill the distraction because,
Right.
there's so much to focus on right now. There's so much information for me to gather and whatnot. There's so many quote unquote avenues that I could travel down based off of the fact that I'm surrounded by these superheroes and whatnot, that I don't have time for the distraction.
Right.
So when you're on social media and places that the algorithm is completely messy and whatnot, it rewards bigotry, it rewards, lower frequencies and whatnot. They're putting us in these echo chambers and they're putting us on these quote unquote trips. They're putting us around all of this noise. And the noise is adding to the distraction. The distraction is part of hyperdimensional warfare. The
Right.
distraction is the enemy. The distraction is an attack. You feel me? The voices that you're hearing, the programming that's coming from social media, from mainstream media, the lies that were being told over these past months when we were on our quote unquote journey for health and wellness, and they were telling you to poison yourself. That is all an attack. That's all spiritual warfare, hyperdimensional warfare. It's the devil tricking you, or the lower self, or the illusion tricking you back into more boxes.
Yes.
Right.
100%. 100%.
So, salute to everybody breaking out the box. Salute to everybody waking up from the nightmare. Salute to everybody that's unplugging and whatnot. And salute to everybody that's deep diving into the dark abyss. You know what I mean? Into the triple darkness. To find the light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we close out on the bowls? Is that possible?
Nice.
Nice. I have to hop off,
Let me
guys. It was a
move
pleasure
this shit
being
off
here.
my desk right
Huh?
quick. Let me move this shit because I've been taking care of me in the corner.
Right. Beautiful.
To get in, into my mode.
Hold
Because
on.
I keep hearing stuff and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, my little
There's a
ceiling
lot of
top right here.
there's a lot of people that are a part of the program that are like viruses.
Right.
And they're here to distract people from their true calling.
Right.
And it's interesting that these people that are like watchers, they come on these platforms and listen to us, knowing that they're going to be failing at their mission. It's so funny. How they just come through and listen and pay attention and see all this light. So let me grab those. I'll grab a few.
Awesome. Terry is giving you a shout out, Dooley. He said, shout out to Dooley for getting me to the sacred tobacco medicine.
Check out Terry. What up, Terry? What's going on, God?
I tried Hoppe the first time with you at a lecture. I remember that at the Phil Valentine lecture in Brooklyn.
Right.
And no, not Phil Valentine lecture. We was doing a segment. I believe
it was the 2020 Ascension, I think, conference. Billy Carson was there.
Right.
And folk, I gave some to you, Blue, and homie that be dealing with the rhymes. Cambada. Cambada was
my brain was on fire.
Y'all are some history.
My left hemisphere was on fire. I was like this. I had big weave in there or something. I was patting the top of my head. But I was so alert though. I was so alert when I did my lecture. I was able to get into flow state easier.
All right, almost there.
No rush. Whenever you're ready.
And also,
what's the date again in Atlanta for your event?
Yes, it's April 25th through May 1st. In the first half, we're going to be spending. Yep. The first half we're gonna spend time in one of the mansions in Atlanta, and then the other half we're gonna be in the woods and learn how to create fire. We're gonna learn archery and survival skills. Um, so we're gonna be it's a journey. There's gonna be some integration to do afterwards, but it's it's transformative. It's gonna be very transformative. So, and you will be well supported.
Beautiful, beautiful. I look forward to that. You know what I mean? I'm excited about that. That is, you know,
Red, you gonna
timing
be
is
there,
right.
right?
Huh?
You gonna be there, right?
Does a bird fly and a fish swim?
There's a bear shit in the woods.
There's a bear shit in the woods.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Just let me know if this sounds okay coming through these speakers. I'm on a camera that's connected to a microphone. I'm going to turn one of these speakers off. I'll give you a little taste. So I'm using 6 bowls, and these are the primary bowls that I like to use because bass doesn't transfer over easy over specific speakers. So start with this. How did that transfer over?
And you took me back to 1985 Saturday afternoon kung fu movies right there. God,
To this day. To this day.
I was looking for the drunken master to show up.
Yeah, when there's 14 bowls, and I got to show you one thing though, because it's
Right
something I
there.
like to offer people during sessions. I have a giant bowl, and I allow people to stand in it and get in front of a gong and have 2 different frequencies come in at the same time. So this one, someone would stand in, and then I would play the gong in front of them, and it would clear the dantian area. So it comes up through the feet, and then it hits that solar plexus energy center, and then
Right.
it washes things away. So this is one of the master tools I work with as well.
Man, that was so peaceful.
Mhm.
And you could, I'm gonna throw the, they was feeling it. They was feeling it in the chat. They was like, man, they can still feel it. They can still hear the ring.
Yeah.
So a lot of thanks from the chat.
That's very
A lot of
nice.
thanks. A lot of thanks. That was definitely resonating with me.
Yeah. So if that's bowls, just imagine gongs.
Oh man, I can imagine. I can't.
Gongs and psilocybin.
Yeah.
Right, gongs and some. Man.
Yeah.
And if you fasted throughout the whole month and you've been cleaning yourself out and everything, meaning that your temple is more receptive, yeah, that's gonna resonate. That's gonna shake. That's gonna shake the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep like a baby tonight. I know that for a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But I do want to welcome y'all back. Before the month is out, I want to do something else. You know what I mean? Like I said, tonight was an introduction. We're gonna do another full show, and we're gonna dig in a little bit deeper. You know what I mean? We're gonna go a little bit. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper. We might even have a live on air full body orgasm. No, I'm just playing.
We can set that up.
Yeah,
we
that
can
would be dope.
set that up.
You want to break the internet? Oh, you trying to break? Okay. Don't get me excited. Nah, but we're gonna do something. We're gonna tap in because as the proprietor for the brand Conscious Connections, this is something that I'm very excited about. I want to have these grown-up conversations about sensuality, spirituality, and sexuality, with people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So, and it's spring. It's in the air. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this is the season for that conversation. So timing is right. Timing is right. I had to interrupt two bees in my backyard today. Like, you don't see people out here. Company, y'all out here screwing and everything. Like, what we doing? It was ferocious. Two big old thick bumblebees. You know what I'm saying? A cornbread eating bumblebee.
They not fasting. They not fasting.
Bumblebee. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was thick. She had all of the.
Yeah.
The Magic City bumblebee. They was in my backyard.
Oh shit! Oh
wow. Yeah, man.
Oh, them milkshakes bringing them bumblebees to the yard. So
what?
the milkshakes bringing them bumblebees to the yard.
Milkshakes bringing them bumblebees to the yard, man. Outside. But yes, I want to once again thank y'all, and we'll be pulling up and we'll be doing some more stuff very very soon. All right.
Red, thank you so much for all the work that you do, how you keep showing up for yourself and therefore for everyone. And
thank you. I appreciate that.
Gratitude deeply.
Thank you for inviting us on the platform and being open with us and allowing your audience to even see, the work that is being done here. So we appreciate
it. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
That's important. This feels good after coming back from a hiatus. It feels very on purpose and in alignment with the healing that's taking place and with the growth and the transformation and the intentions of what it is that I want to accomplish. Just even with this platform, to be of service and to help people more so on a journey that they may not even realize that they need to take. It's not easy to even to even get a person on their path. Like that's a haunting. You know how much intervention that the ancestors and the spirits have to sometimes interject into a person's life to get them on that road, just to do the work. Like that is it. Sometimes it could take a person 40, 50, 60 years.
Yep.
So we got people that are benefiting at 18 and 19 and 20 to really tap into their superpowers, and I don't think they realize how good they got it.
Yeah. You know what I noticed too with the medicine I'm sorry, just tell me when to stop because there's so much stuff that's rolling. But my mother and I have done work together, and it started with me. And once I started doing my work, then it touched her, and then my
Right,
sister, and then our family in total. All of the women, my immediate family, are healing
right.
now because once you change your frequency, they have to meet you where you are, or they fall off. So
And
if you're looking to strengthen your and fortify your relationships, or to let spirit do what it needs to do, this type of work is amazing, transformative, especially with the medicine to support you with that. Because wherever one person will fall off, another ally will come forth and will support you. And if you invite, that energy into your life, is definitely a wonderful thing. And it's always nice when you're doing this work to see transformation happen within your own family, because then
man,
you're severing different things that have attracted certain experiences.
that's what
And
lightens the heart.
yeah,
You
Mhm.
know,
definitely. My heart is way more open now, and way
right?
more
'Cause
clear on
family puts weight on the heart
yeah.
Yeah.
more so than strangers. Like family, it's those family anchors. You know, it's those the anchors that a lot of us have in our hearts that they won't let it be as light as a feather. It comes from trauma. It's mostly family orientated, and but like you said, when you who are considered to be the black sheep begin to do the work, you begin to affect and influence family who would never really even consider listening because they're not listening anymore. They're watching it. They're witnessing it. It's a difference than being, proselytizing, getting on your soapbox and whatnot, and preaching to the choir and the family members, versus on some LeBron James shit. They're witnessing greatness. And
Mhm.
real time, and they can't deny the glow up. You know what I mean? Because Oprah and them talking about the glow up, so they're like, "Girl, that look like that thing Oprah was doing. What's that? Medication or meditation?"
Yeah.
It's mainstream now. Like I
Yeah.
was saying earlier, we don't sometimes, it's things are going so fast, we don't realize our household, some of the things that we doing now that were considered to be taboo 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it has now found its way conspicuously in mainstream media. That's the work of manifestation. That's a part of our manifestation. You know what I mean? We are here to wake as many people up and to get this information into the quote unquote to the masses, but we don't anticipate the masses to all take it. But if it's able to unplug one person, then it's still a victory.
Mhm.
'Cause that one person can be the one.
It only
So
takes one. That's
only
right.
there you
That's
go. I don't want to talk you out of death. You know what I mean? We could turn this into a Bobby Hemmett lecture if need be. You know what I'm saying?
Bobby
We're
Hemmings.
already almost at the 3 hour
right.
mark. We could go
Oh
three
wow.
more. Huh?
Yo, I grew up on Bobby Hemmett. I'm grateful he existed. And he did
Yeah.
his work, right? So that's that passing that torch, continuous. So
That's right. And the way that you can measure the greatness and the way that you can measure the effectiveness of a Bobby Hemmett is when you look into the audience now, or when you look into the quote unquote, when you look outside, you can see that he multiplied
mhm. Ooh, yes he did.
on many different angles or angels and whatnot. So there's a plethora of new teachers or students that are out there who are, representing different aspects of what Bobby brought, his different angles that he were able to touch on. And
Mhm.
that goes for the Phil Valentines, the Dr. Africas, the Sabies of the world. Our teachers are multiplying,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
aspects or angles of them are multiplying, and it's affecting and it's hitting the hearts and it's activating, and the divine spark is actually taking place before our very eyes. Some of us are skeptical because we're like, oh, these people are out here jacking and faking and hummer stunting and cosplaying. But that's really not for us to judge, because at the end of the day, when the dust settles, we'll see who's still standing. You know what I mean?
That's it. The
It's not
truth
for
is
me to
always
judge.
present.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because people are gonna start out shaky. Because if they were to see how we came out in '05 and '06 trying to figure out our way and whatnot, we may have been emulating the master teachers, copying their cadences and trying to be all proper, like yes, sure, excuse me. You know what I mean? Like we didn't want to. We wasn't that loose yet. But throughout the years, we were able to find our skin, our comfort zone, be ourselves and whatnot, add our sauce onto it, develop our own special sauce. And here we are.
And here
Yeah.
we are.
I'm patient. You know what I mean? I'm very patient. I try not to judge woke people or people are just getting into this, from the angry revolutionary or the activism side, because I'm like, shit, buckle up and strap up, because this rabbit hole is mad deep. You know what I mean? And I'm going to enjoy watching you go down that shit. You know what I mean? But I know in the amusement park, you're at the beginning of the ride, just based off of, the fact that I could look in your face and tell that you didn't go down that rabbit hole yet. And that's cool, because it changes us. You know what I mean? Look at, go do the 10-year challenge. Many of us could see stark differences in our auric field. Experience just has a way of etching itself, on just not just your face, but your whole energy body.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been great. Y'all hit the Cash App, Stream Chasers with a Z. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Go to the website and get this flyer. This flyer here, Law 44. Go to KTL University for the tickets. That's going to be Blue Pillar's upcoming class. It's going to be lit. That's on the 16th, I believe. Yes, the 16th. And then we have something coming up with our good brother Al Kibalon. I'm gonna have a show with him. You will hear about that as well. All right. But with that being said, we will see each other in the Astro Realm. Astro Realm Challenge. Show up in Astro.
I'm gonna meet y'all. Let's see.
Yeah.
Astro Realm Clubhouse. Show up in the Astro
We
Realm
meeting
Clubhouse.
up. We meeting up for real.
All right.
Yeah.
No doubt. Peace. Peace and love.
Peace.
Peace, everyone.
All right.
Peace.